Oh, time to play some uh Minecraft again, even though I don't quite remember what I was doing previously. Or yes, I'm not quite sure what I was doing in the previous day or so, or what I've done so far. I think I was almost done with the fences, and basically work towards that again, and then maybe set up the pumpkin and watermelon farm that is supposed to be kind of underground. So I'll just wait for the game to load up, and I should be good in quite a bit here. Where did I spawn? Did I die? What the heck just happened? How did I spawn like this with nothing in my inventory? How did I respawn in over here? What? Okay. Did the save get corrupted or something? And why was this dug just like this? Who dug this one? Who dug this part underground? Okay. Now, how did I end up dying? For no reason. Okay. Where was I last though? Or where was I the last time? And then maybe I can recover some of the items that dropped. Okay. 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 Um, find my way back up. Um, I'm not quite sure where the items are. I'm not sure how or why I died. Or how this save got corrupted in some way. Okay. I might as well check one of the older videos to check up on where was I the last time. So I'm just gonna open up my browser here. And then put OBS to go to the screen. Yeah, I'm not quite sure how I respawned on the spawn.
I'll figure it out, Cheddar.
Now here it is. 3 minutes. What? What was this one? Why would I have one that is only 3 to 4 minutes? 28th. Okay. That is odd. Now this is still broadcasting the 28th. That was kind of like yesterday, I think. Now I can't even view it. I can't see the video. So I'll just check up on this one as to where I Saved. Okay, in that bed right there. I'm playing Minecraft in just a few minutes, so I'll have to. Okay, in the bed thing. Over there. I'm not sure how or why. Over here. What? And all of my inventory is somehow gone? That is odd. Let me see here. Maybe I'll have to look that up as to why that happened. Or that happens. I updated Xbox and hopefully that's not the reason why. Let's see here. Graph, Bedrock, inventory. Inventory disappeared in the. I tried sending on my Xbox Live account, thinking wouldn't be an issue. Continue this, make contact online, and join the world. My spawn was reset, and all my stuff was gone. And to make my dog stand up. Oh yeah, okay. When I signed in, everything is gone. Your survival, all gone to waste, yada yada. And also a bunch of enchanted stuff. So somehow updating the Xbox Live thing caused this issue. So what should I do? Inventory, layer reset, Bedrock, losing inventory. Some searching, some problems, and no solution really answer. In Minecraft, I'm just reading off from Reddit. Seems accurate. Okay. I suppose that caused the issue. Now, how do I so if Xbox did that, maybe I'll try logging in and out of Xbox. No. This one, Windows, launcher. It does not have any updates, so maybe I'll try to open it through the Minecraft launcher. And let's see here. The progress in the achievements is still there. So just quit this. Go to Minecraft for Windows through the launcher. Hopefully it spawns me back at okay, so if I was playing on the Java version, I think this wouldn't be an issue. Somehow updating Minecraft to a oh, this one is the current. Oh, okay, this one is the current stream. That's why it keeps adding up for this video. Okay. I'll just go back to Twitch somehow. And then if I go back here, it is most likely that it would be gone, kind of, I think. Visible blend. Next major update. What else? Okay, play. Okay. No. And then I should also watch a couple of videos in YouTube showing me what the new updates are. Deep dark biome. Okay, there it is. It fixed itself by okay, using the launcher kind of works. Because because it's also connected to the Java version, and maybe the Microsoft accounts when in terms of joining Minecraft's or rejoining Minecraft worlds is coded in a different way. Maybe, I'm not quite sure, but for somehow I found a way to work around that issue, I think. Yes, because I previously there, just spawned me back to that. So that one that is currently over here looking at this is also the same account, but it is in a different different address in terms of, or what do you call this? It might have a different ID for the one over here compared to this current one, which is directly connected to the Java version of Minecraft. I'm gonna need a bunch of cobble, so I'm gonna go to the mine and maybe excavate a little bit. There's a bunch of half slabs right there. Some other stuff. Slime balls, I'll put it over there. This shear, I don't quite need this shear at the moment, so I'll just put that right there. For mushrooms, now also the seeds. The oak sapling, I'll just need to plant this somewhere. Gunpowder just needs to be there. And I have this leather cap, but I'm not using it. Okay. String can go there. I used to have a fishing rod. Okay, no, never mind. That one's just a carrot and a stick. Okay, I have a decent amount of melons. Now, let's see here. Now, I know planting these in a row would make it grow way faster than the current rate, which is just in this dimensions. Like in a straight row, like maybe a further, or in a straight row or a longer column would make some of these grow a little bit better, I think. Let me just get the, okay, never mind, that's just one potato for now. So I could use some bone meal to make it go faster, but I prefer not to do that. Okay, so I will go to the mine. I just put a wooden plank right here for the heck of it, and makes it easier for me to go from the house to the base. Okay, these grew quite quickly. Another one there. Another one here. Another one here. And another one here. And another one here. Even though some of it might not grow. Now, I wouldn't expect there to be fruit in any of these. But I might as well check. And I could make more llamas if I gather some of the wheat. Or I use some of the wheat, but I think I made a bunch of bread for the instead. And I have a bunch of sugarcane in my inventory at the moment for making a bunch of paper. Okay, so I'll just turn this into paper. Put it somewhere. Put the rest of the sugarcane back there. I have an iron pickaxe that I can use instead of this one because it's gonna break anyway. Mostly it won't repair, or actually it does repair. Even at the slightest. And I have a fire aspect sword that I can repair and use. Now, the planks go there. I was gonna grab a bunch of cobblestone. Now, while I am playing, I'll be watching a bunch of YouTube videos. In order for me to learn more about what's new in Minecraft. So I'll just have it off screen, and then I just have it playing.
All right, let's talk a bit about Minecraft 1.19.
I'm gonna be watching Captain Sparkles.
You've basically been able to play it with a data pack for several months now. Sure, they did announce some cool stuff with it during Minecraft Live, like the fact that when you bring an old world into Minecraft 1.18, it'll blend the old chunks with the new ones rather than just the abrupt cutoff. And maybe even cooler than that is the fact that it will generate the negative Y value terrain underneath your existing old world chunks. Okay, it's kind of cool. But Minecraft 1.19 is going to be wild. And yes, you are going to have to listen to that wordplay from everybody for like another year until the update comes out, and maybe even longer. So Minecraft 1.19 is called the Wild Update, and you probably already knew this, but I appreciate the sympathy in watching my video still, even though it's out a couple days after Minecraft Live. Anyway, let's go through some of the big stuff. First off, they announced that the Warden and the Deep Dark are being brought from 1.18 into 1.19, but along with that, it's kind of going like way further and way cooler than we thought it was. So I think it's a good trade-off. You get a few new blocks. One of the first they showed was called a Skulk Catalyst. When a mob unalives near it, it's like absorbed by the Skulk Catalyst, and it causes more Skulk to spread. It's like the taint. But what you can do then is you can mine that Skulk growth that spread, and you will actually get experience back from doing it. So the developer actually kind of alluded to possibly a cool way you could use it as a mob farm where you don't actually have to be there necessarily, like attacking the mobs, because mobs obviously only drop experience if a player attacks them. But maybe if they drop from high up and land next to the skulk catalyst, right, it'll spread the skulk, and then like you could come back later. Maybe you're doing some just work around your base, right? The chunks are still loaded. You come back, you mine some of the skulk growth, and then you get experience, and you didn't have to actually be like standing there. I don't know if that's exactly the mechanism that he was thinking about, but it seems like a cool way where you can still passively collect the experience without actually having to be like at the farm or something like that. I don't know. Seems like a cool thing. But also, it kind of brings up a bit of lore for the Deep Dark, because the Deep Dark is covered in the skulk all over the place. It's like, how many things previously unalived here? It's like some real spooky horror stuff. We've also got Skulk Shriekers, which are just as terrifying as they sound. It's a block that when it gets hit by a signal by like a neighboring skulk sensor, emit a horrifying shrieking sound. And not only that, it also creates an effect that's called darkness, which is this crazy like rolling storm darkness looking effect over the whole atmosphere that seems to dim any lights nearby and just make it even spookier and terrifying and harder to see. And even more than that, if you end up triggering multiple
Yeah, I don't know any of these
shriekers within a certain amount of time, that's what brings about the Warden. And the Warden just, you know, emerges from like a pit, basically like heck opened up, and the Warden's like, hey, what's up? I'm gonna fetch your soul and I'm gonna bring it back with me. It's gonna be a great time. You ready for it? I'm like, no, I'm not. I just wanted to explore this really cool new Deep Dark City, which is part of why it's getting delayed to the next update, because there are underground Deep Dark cities that you explore with loot, and that's why you are bothering to deal with the hazards of the Skulk Shriekers and the darkness and the Warden. And now the Warden not only can hear you, right, because it's blind,
I put
it
this
can
in.
also smell you, apparently. So even like having snowballs in your inventory, something you can throw in order to try to create sound elsewhere and distract the Warden so that it doesn't attack you, not going to be 100% effective, because it will still figure out, you know what, that snow or that egg over there, it doesn't smell like this person. I've got their scent firmly embedded. It's like a hound dog, and it'll end up coming and finding you instead. And it's got this like crazy, creepy heartbeat sound effect that seems like as the Warden is moving faster, it'll increase in speed and make you really nervous that it's coming after you. But then while you're walking around, like, you have to be mindful of all the skulk sensors and the skulk shriekers that are on the ground all over the place, and you don't want to break it because that's gonna even in full netherite, it deals 6.5 hearts of damage.
I don't even know what netherite
real
is.
endgame stuff. But hopefully the
But
loot
I've
will
seen
be cool.
videos
We
about
haven't said anything
netherite
about what the
and
Warden will drop. Also,
know how to
who
gather
might be
them in
chests
the
that are
nether,
these
but
cities. But either way, very excited. Looks super cool, and I look forward to the snapshots. It seems awesome, and you know, a fine trade-off for all the new Deep Dark features that are happening, pushing it to the next update. Honestly, when they were going over all this during Minecraft Live, I was like, oh, that's cool, that's it, right? Like, you're basically just making 1.19 the Deep Dark and the Warden update, and if they ended it there, I'd be like, oh yeah, that's pretty cool. I'm down. It's basically like a new dimension, even though it is still in the overworld, just way deep. I assume still within the confines of y equals -64 to y equals 0, but I guess we'll just have to see. But no! But wait! There's more! There's new biome overhauls. One was the birch forest, which they just showed like a concept art for. They didn't show any actual in-game footage, so that may or may not come to fruition, but it looked pretty cool, just kind of like taller birch trees and stuff. Really looked like a biomes aplenty kind of biome or something like that. So we'll see if that actually ends up making it. Wasn't too much info, but they did go pretty deep into the swamp. They went deep into the dark, and they went deep into the swamp. And along with the swamp, we're getting chests that have boats in it. Probably such an easy thing to implement, but also just so convenient. You go traveling somewhere, right? Early game, you set up a temporary base, got a bunch of stuff, but now you want to transport it somewhere else. Well, now Chest Boat can do that for you. We love Chest Boat. Chest boats are awesome. I assume it's just, you know, regular boat recipe, probably put a chest in the center. Oh, it just lends itself so well to it. Incredible. incredible. Also new to the swamp is a mangrove tree. I guess they grow out of something called a propagule. The dev was really, like, he was super passionate about propagules, and so I feel like I learned a lot about mangrove trees and their propagules. So propagule is like how the mangrove tree like spreads. This is real life stuff, and I guess it drops off of the tree and it floats in the water, and it can float in the water for like a year, and then eventually it'll latch into the ground or something, and it'll grow into a mangrove tree. And so they don't grow out of saplings, they grow out of propagules, which are actually like they plant underwater. The mangrove trees, they have a base of a new root block, and then on top of the root block you get the mangrove wood, and then you get the leaves, and then dangling off of the leaves you get the other propagules, which could then, you know, create new mangrove trees. But like with other trees, you don't actually have the saplings visible. They just, you know, a leaf breaks and might drop one. But on the mangrove tree, you see the propagule hanging off the leaf. I just wanted to share the enthusiasm for the propagules. Okay, I still don't even know how to spell it, but as you might expect, the mangrove trees, they have their own wood type. It looks like really similar to jungle wood. I need kind of like a side-by-side between the two. I'm sure there's a difference, but also like the regular doors and the trap doors, they probably have a different design. So even if it looks really similar there, you probably got a few differences that you can take to your advantage if you prefer the new doors or something like that. On top of the mangrove trees, like if you see in some of the footage that they showed, they're sitting on top of a new looking block that like seems to be all over the place in the swamp. I don't know if they've just like completely overhauled the swamp and now it's going to be mud basically on top everywhere, or if they're going to be like different types of swamp biomes. Maybe that's the case too. But either way, mud is now a new block. That's pretty cool, right? Like mud's a pretty, you know, universal thing. It looks kind of purpley, like the mud in its basic form, but you can use mud in order to make mud bricks. So now, okay, everyone who's like, oh look, I made my dirt starter house, haha, it's so bad. Well, now you can make a classy dirt starter house, okay? Real nice. You can actually use dirt, well, mud again. You can use it to make a real fancy looking house, all right? So no more insulting dirt houses. They can be fancy now with the right person building them or something, you know? But wait, there's more. You can also make your own mud. Isn't that exciting? By pouring water onto dirt, you'll get your very own mud block that you can use. Well, actually, it looks like if you right-click on a block of dirt with a water bottle, then you get mud. Wow, that's so exciting. But you can then take that mud, or, you know, the mud you've just mined from the swamp, and you can put it on top of a dripstone block, and it'll act as a water source, and it'll start generating the stalactite. I think because you hang on tight. It'll start generating the stalactite, but rather than a water source, which will just keep going forever, this will eventually like run out. And what happens is it will then turn into a block of clay. So you have a renewable way to get clay. You go dirt to mud on top of dripstone, drips out, goes to clay. So you could have a bunch of dripstone blocks laid out in some kind of like farm. It drips out, and then you get a bunch of clay. Actually pretty cool. And last, but most certainly not least, man, this is wild. Okay, sorry, I did it again. Frogs are coming to Minecraft 1.19. I didn't even remember several years ago during Minecraft Live when they had the biome vote. I guess frogs were one of the things they showed possibly going into the swamp. And even though that didn't win, now it's going into the game anyway. Maybe wishful thinking for other things that didn't necessarily win the votes during Minecraft Live. Frogs seem to be centered in the swamps, but they come from tadpoles, right? So they start as a tadpole, and then they grow up, and then they turn into a frog. And you can actually catch a tadpole in a bucket, and what you can do is you can then take that to other places around the world, and there's 3 different types of frogs that you can end up with. You got the frog that's in the swamp, and even though the copper golem, we salute you, might not have made it, the frogs that are in the swamp, I mean, they're like copper frogs, so at least you get those. If you go to a colder environment, I guess there's like Arctic, cold, snowy frogs, which are greener. Not the color I would have expected for a super cold Arctic frog, but if you deposit a tadpole in some sort of snowy biome, it's wherever it grows up that it takes on the shape of that particular frog, or I should say the color scheme, because all frogs are the same shape and size, it looks like. And then we've also got the tropical frog, which again, I wasn't so sure about. I was like, expected that to be like way more green and yellow or red or colorful, but it's like more of a It's more of a light white yellow sort of color, but if it grows up in a hotter biome like a desert, it'll turn into that. It kind of camouflages itself with like the sand in the desert. So, you know, just 3 different types of frogs. It seems like functionally they're all the same. They just, you know, have a different texture to go along with wherever the tadpole turned into the adult. Also, new addition to the swamps, they have fireflies, and it doesn't look like, you know, they're not actual mobs with great detail that you know you could like catch and stuff like that. Maybe you can catch the firefly. They kind of look like particle effects, but the frogs will eat them, and they'll actually like shoot their tongue out at the firefly particles as they're floating around in the swamp. It's kind of great. Frogs, they didn't give any like practical purpose for them, but we don't need it because they're frogs and they're cool and they just add to the environment of the game, and they eat the fireflies? Okay, anyway, the frogs are pretty cool. That pretty much covers everything that at least they talked about during Minecraft Live. I'm sure there's going to be more news and announcements coming out in the coming months. There'll probably be other stuff added, different biomes. Of course, I'll keep you updated and we'll be playing the snapshots as they come out and checking out everything there. But make sure to subscribe to stay tuned for all of the videos in the future and stuff, and also like the video. And oh yeah, the LA is coming to Minecraft 1.18.
Oh my god, oh my god.
So that's pretty cool, right? Congratulations. Again, we salute the Golem, we salute the Glare. Sorry that couldn't make it, but I do think the LA was a good choice. It'll be really cool for item sorting, picking things up from haste mining with a beacon. So I'm very excited for it. And yeah, we get all that. Looking forward to the snapshots. And I guess first 1.18, you know, gotta finish that up. But it's exciting. I think they're really crushing it on all the recent Minecraft updates. It's pretty cool. So thanks everybody for watching. Make sure to like and all that stuff and subscribe and check out the playlist for other Minecraft update stuff. And I'll see you in the next video.
Okay, so some of the updates seem to be the updates work towards around other entities that already exist in Minecraft. So it's basically expanding upon the idea of one entity that is already existing in the game, and basically adding more to what the entity might be about. So, or at least that's how I understood it somehow. Yeah, it's just more stuff for the other stuff, if I would just simply put it like that. So 1.19 is the Skulker, or the Warden update, and then now I'm gonna watch 1.18 and then goes down from there.
Different than Minecraft worlds before it, Mojang has made sweeping changes to terrain generation. Today, we're going to take a more detailed look at some of the changes they've been quietly making in the experimental snapshots for Minecraft 1.18, turning it into one of the biggest Minecraft updates of all time. Also, check out our sponsor, the like button, and click it. Number 1.
Can I do with the granite?
Really big
What can I craft? Okay.
mountains.
I can make polished granite with. So granite is created by using diorite and quartz. Polished granite requires 4, but if I use a stone cutter, it's less blocks. So how do I make a stone cutter?
Right now, we're at y equals 256. If we get on top of one of the trees here, what's that going to bring us to? That's going to bring us to 266. By far,
I actually need
the
a
highest
stone cutter
I have ever
just to
been
save
in
more
Minecraft.
resources.
Now, of course, We've covered the fact that there's going to be big mountains. It is the Caves and Cliffs, the real Caves and Cliffs update after all. But they have, in the recent experimental snapshots, upped the max height, at least on Java, so that now it can generate up to 250 to 260 as the max Y value. And it doesn't happen very often, but when it does, it's dramatic. That down there, oh, that's still in like the hundreds. The terrain around this particular peak is still pretty elevated. You have to go all the way down here to get back to sea level. This is sea level. Most of the time when you're walking around, you see some high mountains, you get to a lofty peaks biome. It'll send you up into like the 170s, 180s. Every now and again, you get way up here, and they will probably add an oxygen mask into the game because of the altitudes that you're gonna reach. So it's apparently fine, you're adapted to this now. But then obviously, you can still construct a massive tower on top of this because the max world height's been increased so much too, and that's the whole idea, is they still want to give you a bunch of real estate on top of these mountains to be able to build whatever sort of tower or base you would want to. Pretty dramatic sights. That's not the only change, though, when it comes to mountains. In the latest experimental snapshot, they introduced a change to the mountain generation, causing peakier peaks. That's their words, not mine. But as you can see, this is a very peaky peak. If you're afraid of heights or you suffer from vertigo, this might make you uncomfy. This one's at like 240, so pretty tall, and also completely hollowed out in the center. Pretty wild terrain generation, but that's not even the highlight of this area here, okay? Pretty peaky peaks. These ones going to like 220. But when we get to the other side, look at this. Look at how cool this area is. It's like a perfect valley on all sides. The peaky peaks, you can just build a base in here and you never have to look to the outside world ever again. You're in your own little world. I think this is a pretty cool feature. The last world where I was at 260 on that mountain, I found that seed on Reddit. This one, totally random generation. And I have to imagine I'm not just that lucky. Other people probably find really equally cool things in generating their own worlds. So, there you have it for the mountains.
Number 2, there's a new non-snowy mountain biome called a stony peak.
So at this point, you're probably familiar with, we have the Grove, the snowy slopes, the snowy peaks, the lofty peaks, the peaky blinders, but this is a stony peak. It exists so that you can have big, tall mountain in a biome where it doesn't make as much sense to have it actually be snowy. Some biomes you could have either. In this case, we have a forest leading into the stony peak here. One of the more distinctive features of the stony peaks, though, is that they can have these ribbons of materials through them that can be calcite in this case, but they could also be andesite, granite, or gravel. I happen to think the calcite looks pretty cool. It's like you got a streak of marble. It's like a vein. Reminds me of some fancy stone, like you'd have a quarry here harvesting stuff for people's countertops. Cool different touch, so that not all the new mountain biomes are snowy necessarily. This is a good example I found of transitioning from lofty peaks, which have snow on them, into stony peaks based on the surrounding biomes. So Minecraft always tries to make the temperature gradient make sense. So in this case, right, we have some meadows down there,
to my end.
some plains and forests on the other side. So it makes sense to have snowy mountains in the middle of them. On the other hand, over here we've got savanna biomes, which are seen as hot. And so it wouldn't want to go from a savanna biome to snowy mountains, so instead you get the stony peaks, and that's why the stony peaks exist. This specific stony peak also, instead of the calcite, we've got the granite vein going through it.
Number 2 and a half, I guess.
Just giving a passing mention to now stone shores can also have the material ribbons generating through them. We've got some granite here. They can also do gravel. They could do andesite, which you'll see over here. But then instead of calcite, they do diorite, or unaliberite, as I should say.
Number 3, biomes can generate at extreme ranges of elevation.
Now, if I told you I was standing at y equals 218, you would probably think, oh, you're standing in a lofty peaks, something with snow, maybe stony peaks. I haven't seen stony peaks generate that high, but they might be able to. But what if I said, I'm standing in a plains biome, just happens to be really high up, but not just really high up, really extreme, ridiculous land formation. Now, there is a chance this might not be intentional to keep all the way into the full release of 1.18. I happen to think it's pretty darn cool, though. This is something you'd find in an amplified world, not in just standard terrain generation. That's pretty wild. Here's another example of a biome. It's just a regular ice spikes biome, but you can see it's got a lot more verticality to it than it might have previously. Y equals 140 plus right now. If you go to one of the top of these gigantic ice spikes over here, we're talking like Y equals 180. I mean, there's a lot of verticality here, and even though it's not one of the new mountain biomes, and it is just ice spikes all the way through, you still have a lot of range from sea level up to the highest ice spike.
Number 4. Aquifers are pretty cool and can lead you to big caves and stuff.
So if you find yourself wandering around in a 1.18 snapshot world, you might end up diving into a lake and being like, this is way deeper than I ever remember any Minecraft lakes before. And I believe this is what they're calling an aquifer. I realize that's not exactly what it means in real life, but there are really deep portions of particular lakes that are pretty noticeable. And these can actually be a good way to lead you into a larger underground cavern below it. So you'll notice right here, actually, if I go into spectator mode and drop right beneath, huge underground cavern, it's totally separated. I'm sure there are instances of terrain generation where you might be able to find a little opening and kind of squeak your way in, but there is a good chance that when you find a super deep portion of a lake like this, that if you go beneath it, you're gonna find a bigger cavernous area. The same applies over here. You have this deeper area going through the swamp, and then as you go down, when you go beneath it, there you go. So it can be a good way to find things like this. Yes, also there is just the part where the swamp kind of opens up into this ravine down here, but again, it's separate from the watery area, right? And it's not always guaranteed that you're gonna get the opening up to the surface. So by using the really, really deep portion of the lakes as an indicator, it can kind of help you to find some larger caverns underneath.
Number 5. Villages can generate in meadow biomes at pretty high elevation.
All right, so it might be something that you'd expect, but meadows are now a biome that villages can generate. They can't generate in all the new biomes, like you're not going to see a village that's at Y equals 260 on top of a lofty peak, but you can still see it at like Y equals 130-ish, where as you can see, the air was a little bit too thin, all the villagers unalive, they're now zombies. That's what happens with lack of oxygen, is you turn into a zombie, I guess. But cool scenery. Maybe there would be another one where they adapted a little bit better to the thin air. As you can see, I've done some serious aerobic workouts here. I'm crushing it up here at this high elevation. Whew.
Anyway, number 6. Rivers are really, really cool now.
If I titled this video like X number of new things in Minecraft 1.18, number 6 will shock you. Well, this is number 6. Rivers have kind of been revamped, and what they've done is they've tried to kind of make it so that rivers won't just randomly peter out and just unalive end into like a mountain or something, and it'll just be a pain to traverse if you want to actually boat through it, and then you have to walk and then you have to place your boat down, or it's just the end of the river. Well, rivers, they go and they create dramatic terrain now. Just look at this scenery here, how wide, how deep the river is, ravine offshoots that you can go into if you want to, and then it goes into a deeper ravine which you could then go exploring. It's really cool, and this is not like an incredibly unique river. Like, it looks awesome, but you can find this sort of thing kind of all over the place now. And it will just like keep going and going with the dramatic cliff terrain on either side. There's something called a saddle valley, which I haven't been able to find myself because it requires a specific set of circumstances. But one of the devs who's working on the terrain, he posted an example of this really like wide open valley with mountains on either side that can happen as a result of it trying to keep the rivers a little bit more sizable and significant, good for travel. Actually, this is one of my favorite things that's been added so far. The rivers are actually rivers rather than just, you know, a few little blocks of water source blocks that you can go for a few feet and then that's it. Oops, it's sorry, you can't travel anymore, and then it'll lead out to an ocean or something like that here, which is really cool. Or switch biomes. Anyway, yeah, go check it out for yourself. They're usable. They're awesome. They make for great scenery. Build a house on the side or something. I don't know.
Number 7. Pillager towers can spawn at high elevation.
Okay, so the official changelog line here is that pillager towers can spawn in the new mountain biomes. That said, unfortunately, there is no way to do a locate structure in particular biome command, but this is the highest up pillager tower I've been able to find. Now, it's not in one of the new mountain biomes, but it is a case where you have a taiga that has generated over a larger Y range than you would see pre-1.18, and with that comes a pillager tower that's pretty up here. And I also like the fact that over here, unrelated to the pillager tower, you have like it's like a sub-biome of a snowy area. It almost looks like, you know, this is the part of the cliffs in the taiga that's not exposed to sunlight or something. And so you get some snow there, whereas over here where the sunlight hits, you don't get the snow. Obviously, that's not actually what's happening there, but it just gives that cool impression. So I figured I'd call it out. But there you go, some really high up pillager towers. As you can see, once again, when we come back over here, I don't know, it's pretty intimidating to see a fortress way up on the hill like that.
Number 8. Snowy mountains are no longer dirty.
Probably sounds like kind of a weird one, but it is actually a thing that has been done, which is that when it comes to the snowy slopes and the snow-capped peaks, you'll notice that where the snow kind of fades away, it's all stone. There's no more dirt. There might be some dirt down there, but these are very clean. They are not very dirty biomes. It's just stone. You have snow. Basically, the snow has replaced any dirt and grass that you might have, and underneath, it's all stone, which you can see when you have more of the abrupt drop-offs where the snow doesn't stack up. Makes it look just ever so slightly different. It kind of means, right, like this is a stony peak. It just happens to have snow on top of it, so it's keeping that sort of continuity, because it wouldn't make sense, you know, if you had dirt underneath the snow-capped peaks, but then you had a stony peak which was stone with no dirt on it, you know, because it's covered by the... So you get it? No?
Number 9. This ravine is super swick.
Okay, yeah, this one has nothing to do with any specific feature update for 1.18. I just came across this ravine, and it's pretty awesome. So I wanted to show it, and it's number 9, because it's an example of things that you'll be able to find in Minecraft 1.18, hopefully still, once it's fully released. Look at this, you can see all the way through, out the other side, it's like a ravine/tunnel, and you can come all the way down here, and then you can just drop all the way down,
Stupid little squid.
and you can go all the way down to Deep Slate. How cool is that? And it just keeps going, and it just keeps going down there, or you can come back up, or you can look in this other ravine that's underneath that opens back up into this other area. It's like double ravine intersection tunnels on top of each other. Look at the absolute magnitude of this whole ravine setup thing. You could not find anything like this pre-1.18. And then, just so that we can get it to an even
Number 10.
Badland here is pretty cool. I don't know, I got a cool shot of one of the caves going up to the surface here in the Badlands, and I thought it was worth showcasing that B-roll, so... Also, though, you know, just another example of really cool Deep Slate coming on up all the way, and then you get up into the Badlands area up here, and then the Badland also has a greater span of Y values into it. Like you see this, okay, this is kind of normal, but then you can look over there, you're like, oh, it goes even higher than it was before. And then you got the cool, like, shattered Badland bits over there, and then the other cave over here where I got the cool B-roll shot, which is mostly why I wanted to show this, and also to make it an even 10 things about Minecraft 1.18, which is pretty cool. But you know, this thing over here is pretty nifty. If you go down, you got that little lake, then the lake goes into this whole thing, and it's worth showing. There's a lot of things worth showing. In fact, it was hard to make up my mind, but I do hope you've enjoyed taking a look. Make sure to like the video if you like, subscribe, turn on notifications, hit the bell, tune in for future videos, and thanks so much for watching. I'm looking forward to Minecraft 1.18. Should be pretty awesome. I'll see you next time.
1.18 is about biomes and whatever what do you call this? World generation thing, mostly. So Minecraft 1.17. Okay, 1.17.
All right, everybody, let's talk about Minecraft 1.17, the Caves and Cliffs update. Half of that being the cave update that we've been waiting for such a long time. We'll go into everything that was revealed and confirmed about it, but also I'll try to speculate a little bit as to some of the things that maybe weren't said out loud yesterday. For those of you who missed it on the Minecraft Live event, they did something they've never done before, which is basically lay out the entire roadmap of what's going to be going into the next update, 1.17. So we'll recap that, see if maybe we can figure out some of the implications of what they're doing, and you don't even have to wait until the snapshots to figure out what's being added. Although, of course, it will be nice to get our hands on things as they do development, because they did say the targeted release date is next summer, 2021, so it's a ways out, which means hopefully snapshots will start in the next few months and then carry on until it's actually released. That said, though, let's check it out. We'll start off with the Lush Cave. That's the first new type of cave that they unveiled. It is what it sounds like. It's a thriving green ecosystem underground. Usually seems to have some water flowing through it, which you would expect in a place with lots of greenery. And they confirmed a few new blocks for it. There's glowberries, spore blossoms, drip leaf plants, which actually have a really cool feature we'll get into in just a moment. And what's also really cool is now there's an above ground marker that lets you know that underneath where you're standing there is a lush cave. So it's not as much just like RNG trying to dig down and being like, well, hopefully I eventually run into what I'm looking for. It's called an azalea tree, and it kind of stands out. It has like purple flowers in it. And you know, if you dig right under that azalea tree, you'll end up in a lush cave, which is pretty cool. You don't have to depend too much on RNG anymore. What I don't know, actually, and what'll be interesting to find out, is with these different cave types, I don't know if they are dependent upon the above ground biome or if they're completely independent. Like, could you have a snow biome that has a lush cave underneath it just as well as you could have a desert biome that has a lush cave underneath? In which case that means you're gonna have like these two biome systems working independently of each other, one above ground and one below ground. Again, speculation, but it'll be interesting to find that out if you just have really two different worlds now, which is great. Because thank goodness caves are finally seeing some love, dude. I mentioned the drip leaf plant that you can find inside the lush cave, and that actually seemed really cool because they demoed it on the live stream, showing that it can be used as a platformer block, almost. And then if you set it up in a controlled fashion, when you jump on it, the leaf kind of tilts down.
Oh my god.
And then
that
the
saves
next
so
stage
many
is it
resources.
actually drops out. So you have a short amount of time that you're actually able to stand on it before you have to jump to the next thing. So it could
I
be
need a bunch of stairs, and
courses rather than having like pistons
that
sticking out of the
saves
walls
so
when
many
retracting. You have more
resources.
free-flowing platforms to jump on.
Oh
Perhaps
my
the most significant
god.
thing is it seems to be the place where you can find axolotls, which are one of many new mobs, maybe inspired by the Minecraft Champs team, the Aqua Axolotls. I don't know, makes a lot more sense now that they're in the game. Anyway, they're a very cute, small little salamander-type mob, and you can tame them, it looks like, by capturing them in a bucket, unless there's some other interaction that they didn't reveal on the stream, and then you can transport them wherever you want. And if you have a bunch of them, you can build an axolotl army that follows you around. So they showed a player going into an underwater monument with a bunch of axolotls following them into battle and then absolutely obliterating one of the elder guardians inside of the temple. It was so great. And also, they said that when an axolotl takes damage, it plays unalived. And then when it's playing unalive, the mobs won't
hello?
attack it
Okay,
anymore.
normally
And
I...
it has a chance to regain
Oh, sorry
health.
about that.
Apparently,
Okay,
maybe even
I
without you
normally
feeding
stay
it,
and
then it can
wait
go
for a
back into
reply,
battle.
but
All I wanted
I'll
my
tell you
Markus
why
was
I'm not,
little miniature armors that you can put
and why
on
others won't.
aqua
First of all, I had
axolotls, and then you can do battle with them, and
follow...
that would be
I
amazing.
had to
don't
follow
foresee
you
that happening,
to even
but
talk to you, then I
anyway,
had to wait 10
it looks
minutes and
great,
actually then
and I look forward to
a
building
5-minute
an
response and
axolotl
got...
army. Oh, and I
Then
almost
I've
forgot to
waited
add
for a
that the
further
reviewer who
5
was on
minutes
talking about it
response
said there is a chance
to get a
that the
response.
axolotls will be
Sorry,
able
I
to
don't
heal
actually
under certain circumstances.
look at the
as well.
chat
Another one of
as
the cave
much as
biomes they
I
unveiled is called the
should.
Kingston
I
Caves.
only
It
have
looks a little bit similar in aesthetic to
two
today's
monitors
caves with
currently,
stone and lava,
and
etc., but it's a lot more expansive
let's see
in how
here.
big its rooms and
Let me
caverns
just...
are. And
Hello?
of course, as per the namesake, you have
Hello,
stalactites
Kennedy Hunter
and stalagmites
TTV
coming from the ceiling
and
and the floor,
Sunrise
respectively. I
YouTube.
studied
Hey,
up on which is which before recording
I'm
this
an
video,
average
so I
streamer
didn't
over
make a mistake.
1,000, and I'm
From
actually
the
looking for
stalactites on the ceiling are dripping water, so
help
if you
people
put a
grow their
cauldron underneath,
channels.
it'll fill that up. I don't know if
Free
there's a
and tips.
benefit
If
to
you're
that, as
interested,
opposed
you
to
can
just
come
using a water bucket or
channel
water
because
with
I'm
a
fed up
air
of waiting
in
for
them,
you to
despite the
even
fact they're
acknowledge.
dripping
I'm
water. But I think the coolest
I'm
feature
not
they
I'm
sort
not
of hinted
really
at from
interested
this
in
is that if you break one of the stalagmites, you can
that.
place it down like a spike, as if it
You
was
know,
from
it
one of those
may
mod
be
packs that has
tempting.
spikes you can put in mob grinders. And it seems
Kennedy
like it might
Hunter
be a way
TV.
to enhance your mob grinders, because you or mobs take damage when they fall onto the stalagmites because they're spikes from the ground.
I have my
That seems pretty cool.
chat on follower
Really
only
easy
mode
way to
because
take care
of
spiders, that's all I'm saying.
the
They
fact
also
that
unveiled a cave biome
I
called the
get
Deep Dark. I think this is the one that I'm most excited to
messages
check out whenever
or
it's rolled out in the snapshots.
messages in
If it
chat
sounds familiar, it's because there's a mod called the Deep Dark that you might have seen me play in series before.
about
It's very different from this, however. So the Deep
or
Dark, they say,
advertisements
is a
in
biome that you find at the
on
very
Twitch chat.
deepest parts of the world, which makes it seem like you can go deeper than before. But we'll get into that closer to the end of the video. That said, in this biome, you can find blocks called skulk growth. And despite the fact that it looks like this weird sort of fungusy looking thing, and the last thing you would expect is
Hello,
for it to have
Sunrise
anything to do
YouTube
with redstone,
or
it's
YT
gonna
too.
allow for wireless redstone
How's it
and
going?
also detecting footsteps in its proximity. This is if I understood it
And
correctly.
I've
It
been
seems like
streaming
if you have
for almost an
vibrations
hour.
in the vicinity of the block,
Now I'll just
then it will actually emit a signal that can be done
improve
into redstone,
this,
or
I
it
think.
can propagate out to an adjacent skulk block that can sort of receive that signal that pings from the first one, and then it can ping to another one and another one in whatever direction you have it set up. It doesn't have to be horizontal, and you can
putting
create
this up
wireless
with
redstone transmission
stairs
that
wouldn't
way.
take that long with
And
the
there's a
stone
slight
cutter,
delay between, each one pinging
and
receiving
going up and
signal
down
and then
is
ping off,
way
just like you would
faster
have
now,
with
and then I
Sandbox
can
delay
use a
in sending
minecart
redstone up
to
a vertical
finally
channel. So
do that.
I'm really interested to see
Okay,
where this goes. I feel
redstone.
like you can actually kind of isolate the direction it's detecting things by surrounding it with blocks, so that it's only focusing
I'm going to
on
need a
things
bunch
that
of
are in the
redstone.
direction, at least that's what I gathered.
Not enough.
But anyway,
I don't have enough
this will
iron.
be really interesting to see where it actually
I have
goes
to go
from a
back.
redstone perspective. It'll probably go well beyond my level of comprehension, but it seemed really cool, and it's like the last thing that I would expect of this fungusy looking plant is it allows for wireless signals. So that's pretty awesome. Also in the Deep Dark is the most amazingly terrifying new mob called the Warden. You can almost call it a mini boss actually, because it has a lot of health and it deals the most damage in a single hit of any mob that's ever been in the game. In the video, the player is wearing full netherite armor and it deals 6 hearts with a single hit. However, to balance that out, it can't actually see, which sort of makes sense, right? It's the Deep Dark. There wouldn't be lights there normally until the player
there's a
brings it
trader
down
here.
with torches. So it relies on sound. So if you have snowballs,
I can get
as
cactus
in
from
the
you
video,
and
you can
glowstone.
throw a snowball and you can create a noise that attracts the
I need-
warden, brings it away from you.
I need that
So you can kind of
cactus
lure it and then
for
steal it away, and hopefully it doesn't
cactusy
lose. It seems like
stuff,
a good
I
opportunity to
suppose.
learn about some
I think
kind of
cactus
sound
can
dampening
make
boots,
fruit,
maybe made
maybe?
from wool or an attachment.
Okay, I'll get
Could be an augment.
2
Using the sniffing
cactuses.
table that you can make them have like padded soles. Anyway, that was not confirmed. That's speculation of me saying that would be
Hey,
cool and another use
thanks.
of the sniffing table, perhaps. And it would be a downside because it would like
Oh, I need 3
reduce the
emeralds.
protection
Sorry
you have
about
on
that.
the boots, but also make it so that
Grey
they wouldn't
dye
hear
and
you as well.
glowstone. I can
But
get
anyway,
glowstone
if
from
it
you.
does hear you and you start punching it, you better hope that you have very good enchantments or that you have lots of things to distract it, because it does a lot of damage. But we
Get this
don't know if it
redstone.
drops anything super cool when you open it, because in the video they
what
only
else
show
can I
the
get?
breakdown to it.
Okay.
So
think
I'm
that's
really
pretty
looking
much it.
forward to seeing what it does, what it drops, and trying to fight
more
it
charcoal.
when it's implemented. Another little detail you might have missed in that is
Out
that
of
they're
food.
candles, as in the dark. I don't know how they're crafted, if they spawn naturally in the deep dark in these little areas.
More
that
melons.
you can see, but candles. That's the little thing. The final underground terrain generation feature they revealed are these amethyst geodes, which aren't a biome. They're more like a thing that you can find. They're very rare, apparently, and it's like, you know, you can find a fossil when you're underground. You can find one of these
Okay, I have
amethyst
one
geodes.
cactus.
It's like this purpley alcove, and inside it you have these
I need
crystals. You
sand.
can harvest the crystals, which will be used in crafting recipes. The one that they revealed is the telescope. I don't know if it will be used
Where
in
they?
any
There's
others.
sand
I
right
assume
there.
it will. And so the telescope works like an Optifine zoom, but it's in vanilla. It has more of just a circle, a reticle that you can look through as opposed to the entire screen being zoomed in. Another thing, though, about these amethyst
just let that
geodes
grow.
is that the blocks that the
I don't have to
crystals
go to
grow
a sand
on,
by
which
or
make up most of the geode
the
itself,
desert.
they said you can't actually harvest them. So if you want to grow these crystals, you have to more or less turn that geode into a farm that you can come back to and keep collecting, which makes me think they'll make the crystals of some sort of value.
Crystals?
Maybe they'll
What
be
kind
able
of?
to trade
Okay.
with villagers
I'll have to
or
look
more
at that one.
crafting recipes than just the telescope, but it seems like something you have to revisit. It seems like even Silk Touch will not let you harvest this. You can't just bring it back to your house. You're going to have to go back and forth. So
What's
a
this one?
reticle that you can look through as opposed to the entire screen.
Oh, the
being
purple
zoomed in.
thingy.
Another thing,
What can
though,
I-
about these amethyst geodes is that the blocks that have these crystals, and you can harvest the crystals, which will be used in crafting recipes. The one that they revealed is the telescope. I don't know if it will be used in any others. I assume it will. And so the telescope works like an Optifine zoom, but it's in vanilla. It has more of just a circle, a reticle that you can look through as opposed to the entire screen being zoomed in. Another thing, though, about these amethyst geodes is that the blocks that the crystals grow on, which make up most of the geode itself, they said you can't actually harvest them. So if you want to grow these crystals, you have to more or less turn that geode into a farm that you can come back to and keep collecting, which makes me think they'll make the crystals of some sort of value. Maybe they'll be able to trade with villagers or more crafting recipes than just the telescope, but it seems like something you have to revisit. It seemed like even Silk Touch will not let you harvest this. You can't just bring it back to your house. You're going to have to go back and forth. So once you find one, you might as well sort of mark it off. Beyond the specific cave biomes, they also talked a lot on the stream about improving cave generation in general. So there's large, expansive caverns now. There's underground lakes. There's pools of water that you can sort of raft between as transport. You can elytra between different areas of the underground.
No, I'll
Big
just
pillars
put
connecting
this
the floor and
somewhere.
the ceiling of the rooms. Not the stalagmites and stalactites, but instead more like the basalt pillars that you'd find in the nether. And so all that makes for just like a much more exciting experience. It reminded me a lot actually of the caves that were in SMP Earth. For those of you who caught that series last year on youtube.com/CaptainSparkles2 or on Twitch because it was live streamed. So it's just bigger, more grandiose
one
in
there.
scale, and it allows you to feel like you're actually doing a lot more discovery of new places. And it's like, wow, looking around at this awesome environment as opposed to kind of following narrow little cave patterns over and over until maybe you hit a ravine and find something cool in there. So all in all, just a much cooler environment underground. All that said, there's one other underground edition that they revealed.
probably do.
It has me excited maybe more than anything else, and that's copper ore. And not because of the blocks and stuff you'll be able to craft in the game, but more so because in mod packs now, we don't need to have copper from 10 different mods that confuse me as to which one I need to have, and the crafting recipes in JEI getting all screwed up because of them. We don't need to have copper from Future Craft, from Build Craft, from Thermal Foundation, from Immersive Engineering, from Industrial Blood. It's just gonna be copper from Vanilla Minecraft, and I am so excited and here for it. Of course, the copper will actually have uses in the game beyond just making me happier with mod packs. You can craft it into copper blocks, which look nice for building, but they did actually add an oxidation process. They made it really realistic, so when you place it down, it starts as the golden brown copper color that you're used to, but over time, it moves to more of the bluish green oxidized copper, And so you can sort of tell how long something has been in the world. They didn't say exactly how long the oxidation process takes, and they also didn't say if there will be a way to stop it. I assume maybe there will be, so that for those people who actually want their building to stay with that golden brown, there will be a way for them to do it. But we'll see. It's also used for a couple different items, the telescope being one of them. I already mentioned that. And then there's this lightning rod that you can make, which they actually decided to make because Jens was saying how one of the principles of Minecraft is that things that the player can't control don't negatively impact the player. And one of the things that's kind of been an exception to that is lightning hitting players' houses. Well, the player can't control that, and if it burns your house down, it's like, well, I couldn't really do anything about it. And he did say it's one of the reasons he'll never add natural disasters into Minecraft. That's going to stay as a mod. The lightning rod now you can place on the top of your house. And then if lightning does strike in the vicinity, it will go into the lightning rod and it won't do any damage to your house, even if it's made of wood. So kind of a cool way to protect your
smithing
house
table
if
now,
you wanna
not
do
an
that. So
anvil?
that's it for the cave-related stuff. Let's talk a bit about bundles. Oh, I am so excited for this. Okay, how often does your inventory just get cluttered up with items that there's like one or two and you just don't care about it? And you're like, can you please stop clogging up my inventory? So then
so
you
much
do the thing
iron.
where you spread out a bunch of whatever you're actually trying to collect across various stacks so that you only pick up those sorts of things, especially
Okay,
when you're
this
caving.
is still here.
Bundles. Oh, they
Or
said this already. So a
the
bundle
anvil
is
is
like
still
it's a
here.
bag. It's still constrained to a stack. It can't
But
hold more than 64
it is
items.
cheaper
but it
for
can
me
hold
to make a
multiple
smithing
items.
table
So say you're like in a
at the
flower
moment.
forest collecting flowers and you punch a bunch of them and you have like 2 to 3 of each. You can put those all into a bundle and it'll stay within the 64, so you can't go over that, but it'll only occupy one slot in your inventory. And it's so much cleaner that way, and you can carry so many more things because they're not all occupying a bunch of different slots with like 1 or 2 items in each stack. Oh, it looks absolutely amazing. The one thing that I want to know whether or not it's how it behaves is if you have a certain item in a bundle, when you collect more, will it automatically go into that bundle and kind of stack on the item you already have there, or do you have to add it in every single time? God, I hope it auto adds until, of course, the bundle fills up to 64 items, and then it'll overflow out into your inventory. But until then,
Oh, I need the
I
ingot,
really
the
hope
actual
it
ingot,
automatically goes in, and then at that point,
and then
oh,
it will repair
that's
it.
amazing. Oh, I'm so excited
Okay.
for that. Please make it work that way. Also, more on the exploration side, they're adding in these
This
archaeology
one is
sites. It's sort of
quite different.
an above-ground / below-ground thing. It looks to be something you can stumble across while you're walking on the surface, and then
The
you can
anvil
kind of
will
go down
cost
into it,
more
and you can use this new
resources.
item called a brush in order to brush off the layers of dirt or gravel or maybe sand if you're in a desert off of this item. And if you're careful about it, which I assume it's just randomized, you can get the item that's hidden inside of the block. And they showed that it could be a diamond block, it could be this kind of painted artifact, and you can take these painted artifacts and you can assemble them into a cool painted clay pot. They said that the art for the clay pot here is just developer art. It's not finalized yet, and they're still working on it. But it's just like this really cool little discovery element. You can find diamond blocks, or you can have your heart broken when you do the brush on the block and you see the diamond block appearing, and then it just breaks and disappears, and you're like, well, this sucks. That's a bummer, but it's just a cool little added feature. It almost seems like it's from a mod, but it's, oh, I'm looking forward to that, dude. It looks super cool. Going past what's just at face value here, though, what this means, though, is that you are going to have different layers of gravel and dirt and sand, I assume, and these could potentially be used for just really smooth terraforming and really cool builds, because in order to have the layers that you're brushing off, it means each of those blocks has to have the different states. Just like snow layers, now there's gravel layers, dirt layers, sand layers, and it just seems like a really cool tool you can use for making nice terrain generation that's very smooth to actually walk up without just being stairs and using other blocks aside from snow. So we started in the caves, made our way to the surface. Now we go to the mountains or the cliffs. This is the Caves and Cliffs update, so that is the other half of it. They didn't spend as much time during Minecraft Live focusing on the cliffs component of the update. What they did reveal is that the mountains are going to be much more grandiose with more smooth inclines rather than it kind of just being discombobulated features that contribute to mountains in various biomes, and that they're going to be tall enough that there's going to be tree lines, so the trees stop and then it goes into just being snow. And there's going to be a new mob in the mountains, the mountain goat, which it can jump really high, and it looks really cool. I don't know what it drops if you unalive it, but they headbutt things as well. They showed a demo of it headbutting a cow off the side of a cliff. Poor cow. Anyway, we'll have to see more about them, but I assume they're very dexterous, climbing up mountains and stuff like that. It'd be cool if you could ride one. They could just, like, jump and stuff. But anyway, we'll have to see more about it. I assume there's gonna be other things related to mountaintops that they're gonna be revealing as time goes by. I don't think they revealed every single thing that's gonna go into the update. They've gotta leave some stuff for our imagination, right? But that's what they unveiled in the Minecraft Live stream. Now here's my speculation as to what could be the biggest change to come out of this update. They talked a lot about going way down into caves and the deep dark being in the deepest depths of things, but up until now you really only have like 65 blocks to play around with. And so to get these grandiose features and open caverns and this rafting down layer by layer and having this deep dark that's supposed to be at the bottom without that blending into whatever is on top of it, and then having these really, really tall mountains that stretch way up to the sky, I don't know if they're expanding the world height. They don't necessarily have to actually expand the world height because it doesn't really make use of the 256 block limit, but I am curious if, even if they don't go to 512, are they going to raise sea level? Maybe raise it to Y level 100 or something like that to give them more room to play around with the caves while still having a lot of room from 100 to 256. That's probably plenty for their increased mountain size. But I just, in the current terrain generation, non-amplified of course, it just doesn't seem like there's enough space between 0 and 65 to do everything they're outlining while adding enough separation to make it feel like you're really exploring into different defined areas within the caves. So I hope this is the case. Minecraft natural terrain generation doesn't make enough use out of the 256 block height limit, and so I hope this means they're raising sea level. And I think that would be awesome. I hope it's the case. Pure speculation. I wonder if it means it's going to be weird for like bringing older worlds into the new update. That would be perhaps the reason they wouldn't do it. But it seems like it needs it in order to just make things more dramatic and have bigger scale to what they've outlined here. I hope they find a way to do it. I think it'd be super cool. And I guess we'll just have to wait and find out. So the final thing, of course, I waited until the end. It's the mob vote. So the mob vote, it didn't go in favor of the Iceologer, aka Chillager. I went in favor of the Glow Squid, which is a squid that doesn't glow. I think a lot of people were under the misunderstanding that it's a moving light source, which it sadly isn't, and also that it would like hypnotize things, which also was confirmed by one of the developers. It doesn't hypnotize. That was just done for the sake of the video. So I will see if many of the people who voted for it were under those assumptions. But anyway, Chillager gang for life. Hopefully the Chillager will be added in the future. But what I am going to do is when Minecraft 1.17 releases, I will be making a server which will drop thousands of glow squids into a lava ocean every second, and it'll be great. So look forward to that. Anyway, this is Chillager Gang out. Hopefully you've enjoyed. Hopefully you found this informative. Make sure to like the video if you enjoyed it. It is, of course, one of our biggest sponsors. Also, subscribe to the channel if you're not already. Stay tuned for more update-related things, snapshots as soon as they start coming out. And hit the bell, even if you aren't subscribed and stuff. So, that said, if you want to watch more, I don't know, update-related things, check out a video that's related to updates and stuff. Okay, cool. I'll see you next time. Alrighty, welcome to the show. Have we got an absolute unit of a Minecraft for you here today? This is the new snapshot for version 1.infinity, we'll call it. What it seems like is that the good folks at Mojang, they were working on the...
Okay, so the telescope is mostly what I was looking at, or whatever it was.
We out here live.
So think this one would be the last one that I'll be looking
First
at.
snapshot for
Then
Minecraft
I'll have to go
1.16. The Nether update, I
and
assume it's gonna be called. It's got a bunch
drink
of features that were teased at the
my
last Minecon Earth.
coffee
And
properly.
it's looking like an absolute unit, not only of a snapshot, but of an update when 1.16 comes out. To give you a little indication, I was streaming this earlier, and people were coming into the stream like, are you playing a mod? What mod is this that you're doing? And I'm like, no, it's legit. This is vanilla. And they're like, why are you lying to us? So, yeah, this is a Nether portal. This is how you're supposed to make them. And everything lies on the other side. Are you ready? Nothing against the bees. The bees are cool and all, but this is cooler. Let's jump in. Okay. Welcome to the Nether, ladies and gentlemen. Looks a little bit different, huh? So I built the portal here because it's a really cool intersection of all three of the new Nether biomes. So, over here, we have the blue raspberry forest. It's not called that, it's actually called the warped forest. This is the crimson forest over here, because it's very red and crimsony. And this over here is a soul sand valley. So we got just a junction between all three. Then the original Nether, which has essentially remained unchanged since its introduction almost 10 years ago. It's still there. It's called the Nether Wastes biome, though, and essentially these all kind of equally occur throughout the Nether, it seems. So it's not like there's still a disproportionate amount of the normal Nether, and every now and again you'll run into these. It's like, no, you get into the Nether, and you're likely to spawn in one of these new biomes, and it's pretty cool, isn't it? And it's not just, you know, new blocks that occur here. You can make things out of these blocks, and there's a lot that we can. Like, this snapshot is probably the most significant rollout of new features in a snapshot that I can remember. Maybe I'm forgetting something somewhere along the way a few years back, but this is gnarly, and the Nether is now exciting to go check out, and I'm stoked on it. So let's check out all the different blocks, and we're gonna split this into two videos. So this video is gonna be focused on like the different biomes, the different blocks and things that you can make out of them. And then the next video, which might be up by the time you're watching this, I'll leave it linked in the description if it is going to be focused on the new armor and tools, which are super god tier. So stay tuned for that. Anyway, for now, so this is wood. It's crimson wood, or a crimson stem. And basically, the crimson and the warp, they're kind of counterparts of each other. Cherry, blue raspberry, you know, that's kind of how it goes. So this is wood. This is functional wood. It's not just a decoration block. So you can take this and you can put it in here and you're going to get warped planks or crimson planks. And out of those planks, you can make a bunch of different things. I kind of swapped the biomes here so that you can see the contrast. So you can also strip the logs directly. So this is a stripped warped stem. I can go over here and I can do that. Strip the crimson log, or vice versa over in the warped forest. And then you have the planks. You can make slabs. You can make pressure plates, fences. This is the warped trapdoor, kind of like a spooky looking texture. Warped fence, stairs, and now you have a blue counterpart to nether warp blocks, which this is a warped wart block. Try to say that 10 times fast. And then this is a warped door. It's creepy looking, huh? Real creepy. Up on top here on the Crimson Forest, these are nether warp blocks, which you could already make. They already existed in the game. I forgot that you can't actually deconstruct nether wart blocks, so you can't use it as an easy way to skip ahead and get nether wart. You still do seem to have to find a fortress and get it there. So I came in, when I first came into the nether, I spawned inside of Crimson Forest. I'm like, nether wart is easy. And not quite. Not as easy as you wish that it could be. There's also the foliage here. You've got the weeping vines, you've got the crimson roots, you've got the crimson fungi, and then of course the warped forest has the counterparts to the warped roots and warped fungi, and are there any vines? I guess there aren't warped vines. On the other hand, of course, we have all the counterparts to the warped wood stuff over there, so the crimson stripped log, crimson planks, slab, pressure plate, fence, trapdoor, slightly different texture to it, fences, stairs, and the crimson door also has variation of the texture on it. I really like just the kind of reddish highlights here on the base of the sign. I just think it looks kind of nifty. So if you go into creative and you search for crimson, you'll get a whole list of these things, and if you search for warped, you'll also basically get the equivalent listing. Also, another little interesting thing is that when you're in each of these different biomes, if you use bone meal on the ground, it'll turn into whatever the ground is supposed to look like in that particular biome. So this right here is just regular netherrack, but you bone meal it, and all of a sudden it gets this covering on it, which is pretty cool. And then if you move on over into the Crimson Forest, see, you can actually see exactly where the dividing line is between the two biomes, because when you bone meal it, it'll switch. I'm not doing anything else, I'm just bone mealing the ground, and it just... interesting. We got a little intruder block over there, but it'll turn into whatever it should turn into in that particular biome. So, kind of nifty, kind of cool stuff. Another new block you can find in both these forest biomes are these shroom lights, and axes are the best tool to destroy them, and they are lights, so if you're just looking for a light source that you can bring back into the overworld, a variation from lanterns, glowstone, torches, etc., you got these things. I also love the sound when you place them down and break them. They have kind of this, like, drum sound in the background. I don't know. I like them. Anyway, so we've spent a lot of time focusing on both of the forest biomes right now, but why don't we take a look at the Soul Sand Valley. They're counterparts of each other, so it's easy to review both. Soul Sand Valley is kind of different, though. So we got a few new blocks here. So this, normal soul sand. But on the other hand, we have something that looks like soul sand, but you run normal speed on it, and it actually has a pretty cool use. You also probably noticed that there's blue flame, and you're like, have you got a texture pack on? Yeah, what's going on here? That's not usual. No. So this is pretty cool. Let me head on over to this chest, hopping slowly on the soul sand, and grab a flint and steel. So when you light up flame on top of this, it's called soul soil. It's a new block. It's blue. Kind of cool, right? It's just a regular flint and steel, nothing special about it, nothing modded. I don't have a texture pack on, because I can light it over here on the netherrack, and it's orange flame. Now, the only thing that's not quite a match is if I step in the blue and go into survival, I have orange flame on me. So, perhaps at some point in the future, we'll be able to make an adjustment here so that the blue flame matches on my body as it matches the blue flame here. But for now, it's pretty cool just to look at. We've also, inside the Soul Sand Valley, there are bones that spawn naturally. So if you're looking for some easy bone meal, this could be a way to get it naturally. And then we've also got a new block called Basalt. And they have just these big columns that stretch from the floor to the ceiling. As far as I'm aware, the Basalt isn't used in any crafting recipes currently, but maybe in the future it will be. Well, let's check out some of the stuff that you can do with the Soul Sword, because I think that people will find it pretty interesting, you know? We're keeping the blue raspberry theme going here, from the warped forest to the blue flame to what we got here. So let's head over to the crafting table, and we have a new torch. That's right, one of the most basic Minecraft things. Finally just got a counterpart alternate recipe. So sticks, coal, as you would normally have it, but then if you just need to grab some actual soul soil from over here, let's do that. You combine that with some soul soil on the bottom, and you see, it turns blue. How cool is that? So, these are actually... Okay, Hoglin, just stop walking into the fire, dude. These are blue torches. Your eyes do not deceive you. This is legit. These are blue torches. They give off the same amount of light as a normal torch would. There's no different shading on the light, but torches to begin with, they don't have a color to them unless you've got, like, you know, kind of a mod going on. So, anyway, it matches the blue flame. And not only that, but that's not all. I feel like an infomercial here. You throw the Soulfire torch, which is what they're called, and then you get a Soulfire lantern with the same recipe as you would for a regular lantern, but just throw the Soulfire torch in there, blue torch. Now, you got a blue lantern. I want to eat blue raspberry candy. This is what it reminds me of. I'm sorry. Doesn't it? Does this not make you think about blue raspberry candy and cherry candy? Really, really good candy flavors, if I'm being honest. So, pretty awesome new stuff there, huh? Okay, but that's not all. You might have noticed the hoglins going around here. Now, I don't know if the behavior for them is fully implemented, but they're friendly, because I feel badly doing this. doing it earlier when I was streaming and just kind of figuring out what was going on here. They just, I'm assuming this is a little bit of a bug right now and it's going to be fixed, but you see when you, their legs and their ears just go crazy when you punch them, and I feel so badly. Look at it. Look at the legs and the ears. You just freak out, dude. Poor guys. I don't think you get anything out of them when you unalive, but I haven't had the heart to do it. I guess it's for science. It's for a snapshot. I'm so sorry, bud. I'm really sorry. They drop rotten flesh. All right. I don't know if that's a placeholder, if it'll change as things go, but that's where they're at for now. Obviously, people are looking forward to the piglins. Those aren't implemented yet. I tried to do a /summon. There's no spawn egg in the creative menu, so if there is a way to get them, I just am not aware of it yet, but their AI has not...
Should be good, but I just need to find out whatever that glowing thing is. I think it just might be
another thing that you might
thing
have been
inside
wondering
the...
is, like, does punching one of these trip off the zombie
close to
pigman?
bedrock or
It
whatever.
doesn't seem to. I punched one really close to a pigman, and it doesn't seem to care, which is kind of sad. I would want the pigmen to come to the defense of the poor pigman. I'm so sorry. Okay, I'm going to stop hitting you guys. You're cute, and I don't mean to be such a bother. But that's it for the piglins. I'm sure more to come in time. Another thing that's kind of cool is you might notice, just kind of going between these different biomes here, it changes the fog color. So when you're in the Soul Sand Valley, you've got kind of this blue raspberry hue, which you would expect actually in the warped forest, but
it looks,
just is different kind of blue to make it more contrasty.
kind of wide
You go over into the
to look at,
forest and you get more of this
but
darker, deeper bluish
eventually
purple.
I'll just have to
And then you go on into the
shave this
Persson
off,
forest,
maybe.
and it's like a very red, more
Just
of the
these two
standard
right here.
nether fog color, and then you've also got just the particles look
So it just doesn't look like it's
slimy,
kind of
very,
square
very
or
model-like.
whatever.
It reminds me of the
But it does look
monster
wide,
Minecraft, and then you can just swap through them real quick.
or
See
it
all
seems
the
like it
blue,
looks wide.
purpley.
Now I have a
red,
bunch more stone that I can use. No, not, we're not. I'm not using now. Okay.
Alright, but that's not all. What we've also got is just kind of a cool little minor change to walls, which had been missing for a long time. So, you know, in the past, if you stack
Yes,
walls
over
on
here.
top of each other, there'd be a gap in the middle part, because that's just how walls are.
I want
Now,
some charcoal.
it's just a solid wall.
I'll
from
just
top to bottom.
use
There's no
that
it's
for the gold.
a wall.
Now,
The wall should be,
how about
right?
stone stuff?
You just stack that all the way. They also they added sounds,
Stuff.
they tweaked sounds
Granite.
a little bit for various blocks. So as
I'll
you're
just
placing
use
and
these
breaking things, you
somewhere.
might notice a few new sounds going on. You'd be like, wait, that doesn't sound like it used to. That seems kind of different. That's because a lot of things seem to have been swapped. And finally, I think I've covered most of what we have for new blocks and stuff. But when it comes to biomes, this is a personal favorite of mine. It's probably not going to be like as useful for people who aren't trying to, you know, find a new biome and a new snapshot or get a thumbnail of a particular place. But it's great for me because sometimes I need to do that. And there's now a new command called locate biome, which you can use to locate a biome you want to find. Really helpful if you're in creative mode just trying to find a spot. So here, we've seen all three of the new nether biomes. What if I just want to go back to nether wastes, which is the old nether? So I can go and tab through all these, or I can just type in the start of it. So we have nether wastes, and I'll hit enter, and it'll say the nearest nether wastes is at these coordinates. I could either fly there, or click to teleport. Boom. And now I'm just inside block. So creative mode is kind of helpful for this. And so now, here you'll see in this area, this is just regular old nether, which is still probably useful in order to find varying things. Maybe magnetic is more common there. And, or maybe you're just looking for some nostalgia now that the nether has been completely overhauled. Who knows, in a few years maybe it'll be like, oh, remember when the nether was like super basic and stuff? I don't know if I'm, oh hey, what do you know, it was very close. Wow, I was really at the junction between all four of the nether biomes. That's wild. But see, it's like there's a pretty even distribution. You got the Crimson Forest over there, regular nether here. You got the blue raspberry going on over there. You got the Soul Sand Valley going on over there. I mean, oh, the nether is looking sick. Okay, well, I think that's about it for a basic overview of the new biomes and the new blocks, the hoglins, And there's definitely going to be more in future snapshots, but like I said, we're splitting this into 2 videos, so stay tuned for the next one where I'm going to show you netherite, which is just massive. Oh, P.S. One other thing I should have mentioned regarding the crimson and the warped planks is they don't burn because they're based on nether stuff. So check this out. We just light these all on fire. All right? Only one of them. See, I can't click these with the flint and steel right now, but it allows me to click on the oak planks. I can light those on fire, but these are fireproof. So kind of cool if you want to have a fireproof house that also looks ridiculous and spooky. So anyway, just thought I'd mention that. So anyway, link in the description, assuming it's up. Feel free to check it out. But thanks for tuning in. Hopefully you've enjoyed. Appreciate it. And you can play this now if you want. It's on the Minecraft launcher. Just pick the newest snapshot. And I'll see you later.
I might as well wear this chain just right here.
Alrighty folks, welcome to the second video on the new snapshot for Minecraft 1.16. If you missed the first one, we went over all the new nether biomes, so if you're confused by what you're seeing here, you're like, what?
Okay, just gonna transfer a bunch of these items to the farm, and now I have a bunch of cobble, which I will use for building more, whatever that I can build stuff. Okay. Now, let's break this block, or this fence, and I can just go here. Hello, okay, the cactus actually grew. Now, I have a bunch of cobble that I can use for, just stuff, and more stuff. And I'll take this and maybe half of them. You know, never mind. Put that back and just take 14 of these. Now I have shroom light. I'm going to need to build, gather more wood. Now I have watermelon and some more carrots. I'll use the carrots for now instead of the watermelon, and then I'll check up on the farm a little bit here, and maybe make a wall in between, and then a place that I can enter. There's the watermelons grew quite fast. The potatoes, some of the potatoes, I'm not quite sure about the potatoes. Maybe this one's good. Yes. That is a good amount of potatoes. So once it reaches kind of like an absurd height, I think, for its leaves, it's collectible, just like this one right here. Now I can bake these, and it should be okay. Now the shroom light, I was supposed to just place the parts where this one right here, the entire block, like that, after the half slabs or whatever. Okay, I'm gonna replace that with shroom light instead. Just so it kind of looks a little bit better from afar. Every couple of steps, maybe this one also, but so far trying not to spend that much on this one, even though there is kind of like an abundant amount in the nether. Okay, I think that should be good, but also this one right here. This one also should make it look lot better. It just I think it kind of makes it look better. Just like so. Now that like that, and okay. Shoe light. Okay. Yeah. From afar. Let's see here. Maybe some shroom light also over there and on the ground or whatever. It looks like glowing pumpkins from here, but it's a better alternative in terms of lighting than torches. I think I could use lamps in other parts, just like this one right here. Use lamps instead. Oh, that's what my little sister was kind of talking about. The more the pointer or whatever you're currently looking at, your crosshair, approaches the glare of the sun, it gets darker in some areas. The sky gets darker. Not the world itself, not the world right here, the one that you can pretty much outline, but the sky gets darker the more you look at the sun. Okay, now okay, the bamboo growing pretty good. Look at that. I'm gonna need a bunch of wood to make it a little bit better, and stable. I'm gonna have to make a stable somewhere, which I'll do later. And I'm gonna do something else, walk around and whatnot. And I'm gonna save this. Gonna save the game. Hopefully I don't respawn at the previous area that I was at, I think, or whatever. The thing that happened a while ago. Okay. Ender pearl. Why do I only have that amount? Okay. So I have 4 ender pearls here. This one is kind of like the main base now because it's yeah. Because it's close to food. The other one is just for the, you know, it looks aesthetically pleasing eventually, I think. I don't know. There's a mine there, so that's good. Now I have a bunch of half slabs, so just put them there. Cobblestone, I'll keep them with me. The potato I'll have to bake. These bowls, I'm not collecting mushrooms anymore, so I'll just keep these bowls and consume the last mushroom. Bake these potatoes, and after that I can just go start walking because my legs are cramping again. It kind of hurts a little bit. Okay, the lead, I have 5 leads now, which is cool. A flower pot right there. Where do I put the flower pot? Where should I put this flower pot? Maybe here and here? Yes. That is good. So stairs right there, and I'll put something over here, maybe a painting or a bunch of stuff that I could use. but it would be visible in this area. Oh yes, the flower pots also right here. And then I'll just grab whatever I can that I think might be good to plant. A mangrove fruit? No, none. Maybe I'll put the jungle sapling for now, and then I'll just collect it whenever I feel like planting the sapling. So I'll just put the sapling there for now. Maybe start planting the jungle sapling over here. So I'll put the sapling here, plant one, and then save the game. Go back here and then save the game again. Just plant one somewhere. Over here should be good. Just one jungle tree. Have different types of wood. So there's there's this dark oak, birch, and maybe I'll encounter a different type of tree or something eventually. Huh? What? Hey, what's up, trader? A bucket of pufferfish. An aquarium. Maybe an aquarium, but I don't have enough space for whatever I might be imagining in my head to build in here. I still haven't finished the fence and the bridge for this area. So far the bamboo was kind of a good idea. Whatever, even if it like almost pierces like the sky or whatever, it will look fine or okay. Regardless if it you know, grows at a an unusual rate or something like that. Okay. Now it's just adding more stuff to make it look I don't know, seem okay. Now the cobble, I'll just dig up the sides and replace it with cobblestone. Even though there might be better ways, better material that I could use instead of cobblestone. But I'll just put cobblestone just like that for now, for the outline. The dark cobblestone, the darker cobblestone would be better. I'm not sure if I can make a smooth version out of it. Okay, I'll go over there, save the game. Check out if I can make a smooth block out of the dark cobblestone. Now, I'll take this part. Hopefully it doesn't get damaged. Okay. Now, clear this area right here. Just like that. Now I have that. And also this part right here. I'll have that cactus growing. Eventually. Now, mushrooms too. And go back to the base. Or like that. Go back to this area. The vined or fruited area right here. Now check if I can make smooth deep slate. I don't think I can. Yes. What? I can do that? I didn't know. Okay, I can make a good. It just turns it into deep slate, which the texture isn't really that different from what do you call this? So I can't use the stone cutter on the deep slate. It's just deep slate, but maybe I can use the stone cutter. Yes, I can use the stone cutter in this one. In this version, this one kind of looks like a dark brick or whatever. It's a good alternative for a brick. It kind of looks like a brick that's you know, that's dark, not colored, or not colored, like not colored like that. Okay, that's actually good to know. Even though I can't really do much about this one. Okay, that should be enough. Now, what can I do with this though? Can I make half slabs? No, it's just deep slate. So there's almost no reason for me to do this. So I'll compare what it actually looks like off to the side, and the other one will turn to. Okay. It just looks like that, and you can barely notice the difference. And in terms of sound, it's the same when you step on it. Even though this one is a little bit quieter, I think. No? It's the same. It's the same. It makes the same sound. It's just that I can't craft anything with actual natural deep slate. So I'll just put these back to cobbled deep slate and use the stone cutter to make structures out of it. So the deep slate is actually pretty good. The cobblestone is mostly only good if I use smooth, just like this one. Now, nothing here, but a bunch of bricks and mining and you know, just trying to get more resources for bases and whatnot, and not really focusing on the end game, but the end game or the end can wait a little bit, and also the nether a little bit. Oh, my legs, I can't feel my legs. Okay. Yeah, it looks like this now from afar. Now I just have to just add more improvements to it. Like, I mean, it looks pretty good to, it looks okay to look at from afar. Um, the cobble over there needs to be changed into something else, into a different material. To a slightly more believable material than cobblestone. Even the road, I want to make it maybe dark, make it seem like it's asphalt or something, like tiny roads that's made out of asphalt instead of cement. Um, kind of like that. And I think cement also breaks down easier compared to asphalt. And yeah, and then a bunch of the lamp or whatever, or lights that like poke out just like that. Maybe a tower over here alongside the bridge, a tower right here, like and then the tower right there, and then the bridge, and then maybe a tower in this area, and then maybe another tower in this area for a bridge. So there's gonna be 3 bridges, 1, 2, 3, just like that, and then make these areas easily accessible for me to move around with a road or something, just like that. So I'll be working on the fences again, gathering more wood. The fence over here, completing the fences, and then gather more wood fences. Okay. Hopefully that did not burn anything in the surrounding area. It's raining, so it's good. Okay. Yeah. Maybe it should be a good idea for me to use the copper to make up something that will will take the power of lightning and stop it from hitting something else. So I'll just set that up. Oh, just like this. Okay. One in each corner. And make sure I'm not holding that. Maybe put it in my inventory or the rod. Okay, now I'll put rods over there at the top of the tower. So it also kind of looks cool to look at if ever lightning strikes again. Okay, it's snowing in this height. That barely grew. Okay. I'm going to need a ton of bone meal. Okay. So I'll be putting one in this corner. Also one in this corner. One in this corner. And lastly, one in this corner. So hopefully lightning will avoid hitting whatever that might be in the vicinity of this. I don't know what in terms of radius or how far. Oh, look at that. I actually want to look at the farm from here. Okay, I think it actually hit. It's actually hitting this area. No, it is not. It's trying to go somewhere. Okay. Okay, it looks cool. It's its own island. Look at that. Now to make it somewhat cooler or whatever, maybe, or visually pleasing to my eye, is put lights in the forest over here, and maybe arrange some of the trees, but it's okay for now. Basically, just gradually add a bunch of lights that go way up in the sky that cannot be obstructed by anything, and just provides light even at night. Okay, sticking close to that is kind of dangerous. I might get smitten or something. Okay. Yeah. That should be good. Just there. Okay. Now, time to go back down. Sleep on the bed, sort of respawn or whatever. And continue playing again, maybe later. No, oh, I actually took off the, I hid the Twitch chat on the stream. Now it should be visible again on the top left. I should set up a thing that notifies me when someone uses the Twitch chat and makes a sound or a noise. Should actually do that. It's just sometimes it just seems like I'm ignoring the chat, but not quite. Okay, now the bed is too far away. Okay, save the game. Save and quit. Done. Okay, now switch to the screen right here. And it should be good. All right. Thank you for watching. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Now I can just end the stream.